How's it going in the world of YouTube? I'm back with another video. I know there's been a bit of a break since my last one because unfortunately I've had nothing to be able to do. There was no point me doing a video sitting here staring at a camera. So yeah, as you've seen on my last video, my CBT was cancelled. Unfortunately, the night of it, I fell ill. I had no sleep. I was being sick, and it was a horrendous night. And it wasn't until the Thursday after, which was about 4 or 5 days, I actually got energy enough to be able to go and speak to the person who I was meant to be doing the CBT with, explain the situation and stuff like that. But yeah, I explained more in that previous video. But yeah, Monday just gone, the 24th, I was able to do my CBT, and this is my experience of the day, how things went, and just my general thoughts of it, really. So, Sunday night, I got no sleep. I'm not going to lie. I suffer with anxiety, and the night for me was horrendous. I struggled to sleep. I was anxious. I was super, super nervous. But I kept saying to myself, I'm going to do it, and I did. I went on the morning. I got there for about 20 past 8. The CBT started at 8:30. When I pulled up to where I was doing it, it's in a football ground in Rill, and obviously they take over part of the car park on the day, and that's what we used. When I parked up there, a gentleman I was doing it with, he parked up next to me. We had a little chat, stuff like that. So just kind of get a little bit of nerves of who I was going to be doing it with, and everything kind of went away. And he was a really nice person. He had riding experience previously. I think he was about 57 years old, but his situation was he sent his license to be renewed with the DVLA, and this has happened to a few people. And unfortunately, when he had his license back, they completely took away the motorcycle side of his license. He tried to basically try and fight for it, really, and say, look, well, I've got a license to ride a motorbike. But because it was so many years ago, he had no proof of that. And I watched another video on YouTube of someone else having a similar issue before it went from a CBT. And yeah, it seems to be a big issue with the DVLA is when you send your license off, sometimes they can take off the motorcycle part. And if you have no proof or none of your certificates or anything like that, for some reason, to them, you've never ridden a motorbike. You have no proof of it. So you have to go and redo all your license and everything. And this is what this gentleman was doing. And yeah, it was really nice. Obviously, on the day, went into the little office they have there, and this is a motorcycle training place called CB Motors and Rail. It's run by two people, Chris and Steph. The names are absolutely wonderful people. I mean, I was nervous, and there's little funny stories in this, and yeah, when people say dress for the ride, not for the slide, yeah, I dress for the wrong type of weather, put it that way. But anyway, we got inside the little office there, and we had a chat, a little cup of tea beforehand, and just, kind of just general chit chat, you know what I mean? We didn't really go straight into everything and stuff like that, but I handed my license over, they put all my details down, and yeah, we got ready to go out. We literally went outside into the car park. Chris showed us which bike we'll be using. The person I was doing it with used a Benelli, I think it was a green Benelli, and I used, which I was quite happy about, the Honda CBF, I think it is 125 or CB125 or something like that, which I was quite happy about because it looked a lot nicer than the Benelli. It looked a lot smarter. But yeah, so we went outside and we obviously walked around the bikes. Chris, explained everything to us. Things like, side stand, center stand, where brakes are, where the clutch is. And just, I'm not going to go too deep into it. I think if you're watching this, you know about a motorbike. You understand the fundamentals of what you're going to be looking at a motorbike: brakes, chains, tires, everything. And yeah, then he said to us, sit on a bike, learn to push it around, feel of the bike, get used to where all the instruments are, things like that, start of the bike, turn off the bike, everything like that. Now, me personally, I've never ridden a bike properly. And I mean, not just properly, I've never ridden a bike full stop, really. I had a go of my mate's scooter once and I fell off it. And I don't mean fall off it as in I was at high speed run, blah. Went down the road, turned into a side road, And because obviously I didn't know how to turn a motorbike, I literally tried to turn on the dime and I fell off it. And it wasn't bad or anything. I just literally dropped it on the floor and put it back up and went back around the block. Um, Other than that, I've had no experience whatsoever, and I've always wanted to do it. And yeah, when I got on it, I was so nervous. I was near enough shaking. I had like little tremors and everything like that. Just that worry of what's going to happen. I'm taking control of a motor vehicle I never have before. But my word, it's hard to explain, but it was like, it became like second nature to me. Once Chris told us we can have a little go round the car park and everything just to get used to the bike and everything, I thought it was going to be really hard to control, really hard to turn, what have you. But it wasn't. It really, really wasn't. And I kind of quite surprised with myself how agile and easy it is to maneuver a motorbike. Um, we did obviously the standard course. At first, we just went around a few times, just in first gear, just going around in circles, getting used to the bike and that. And then Chris started setting up little scenarios, like junctions and stopping and doing all that type of stuff. And yeah, I kind of took to it very well. Me and this other gentleman, like I said, the other gentleman already rode before, so it was already quite easy for him. Me, I never, but even the instructor said, it was dead easy for him on the day, especially in the car park, because me and this gentleman, we just kind of smashed out everything without any issues. There was no falling over, there was no major stalls or anything like that. I think I stalled the bike once. And that was because we did this scenario where you come up to a junction and you go right. Um, First time I did it fine, second time I did it fine, but then on the third time we were meant to um, change down the gears, because at first we were just doing it as if the junction's clear. So you just come up into first gear, look left, look right, and then you pull out, type of thing like that. The second time was where we had to stop as if traffic was coming across us. So I got down to first gear. I looked left, looked right, did my little shoulder check over the left and over the right, And then as I was coming out, my foot actually slipped. So I went from trying to find the gear, obviously pulling out and stuff like that, where you have it in position, it slipped. So I panicked a little bit and I hit the gear and it went into neutral. So I hit the gear again and it kind of just messed up. It was just one of them, nerves and stuff. And, again, trying to get used to the bike. Other things were just like doing stopping, using the brakes, doing the slalom, doing the figure of eights and stuff like that, which they weren't the easiest for me, but I still did them competent enough that Chris was really happy with it and stuff like that. So we did all the car park bits and everything. Then we moved on into the actual doing I wouldn't say theory side of it, but the talks about signs, the highway code, basically doing the highway code side of things inside the office. And we had dinner first, but you don't need to know about that. But yeah, we had dinner first. Then we started doing the highway code bits and all that, and answering questions, talking about different things. Obviously, when we went in first, they talked about helmets, safety gear, all that type of stuff. I forgot to say that. But this was all about, road signs, highway code, little scenarios on a whiteboard and stuff. And then once we did that, we had another drink, and then Chris was like, right, you ready to go out on the road? And we're like, yeah, sound. I think that was around about just after 12 o'clock, I think it was, close to 1 o'clock, we went out. And yeah, we went out on the road. I was nervous at first, but it kind of just went like a blur, There was only one major incident, which wasn't with myself, but with the other person I was with, but I'll explain that. But we went out on the road. We went down a quiet road where Chris wanted to do U-turns on the road and emergency stops. My first U-turn on the road didn't go to plan. I kind of over-revved it, panicked a little bit, nearly went into the curb. But that's because, obviously, in a car park, you've got white lines or you've got cones, right? Which means you have a little bit of leeway to do this. Now, I know you're not meant to do that on a U-turn, but it's kind of a natural instinct for me to swing out a little bit just to get an extra little bit of room to come round. But on the U-turn on the road, you got a big curb there. Now, if you swing out, you're hitting that curb. And what happened was, as I was going straight, I did my shoulder check, Went to look around, but then I kind of fixated on the curb. So I targeted the curb. What happens when you fixate on a separate target than you meant to? You head for that target. So I ended up heading for the curb, panicked a little bit, but I recorrected myself. Everything was fine, no major issues. Went back round, did it again. Absolutely perfect. The second time I did it was absolutely spot on. My brake control, my clutch control, everything, keeping the revs positive was all perfect, and Chris was dead happy. On the emergency brake, no issues whatsoever. By the first one, I forgot to pull the clutch in at the very end, but I stopped in a really great distance. I think it was around about 25 mile an hour. I think it was 20, 25 mile an hour. I managed to stop in a fantastic distance. Second time was perfect. Braked perfect. Everything spot on. Fully in control. Clutch in. Flawless. Chris was beyond happy with that. So then we headed out back on the road, and when we come out of it, we went up what's called, in the place of Rill, there's called a thing called the H Bridge. It's a nightmare. It really is. It's a tiny bridge that you have like a few feet of the bridge, but the corners are really sharp. But there's like a hill bit each side, so it joins like that. So we did a hill start on there. Did it perfect. Me and the other gentleman, we did it absolutely spot on first time. Chris was like, fantastic, let's go. So we went off on a ride, and yeah, the first type of major speed it did is when we were leaving Rill going in towards Prestine. And yeah, you hit 40 mile an hour. I gotta say, 40 mile an hour in the car does not feel like 40 mile an hour on a motorbike. I felt like Lightning McQueen. It felt so fast. You got the wind hitting you. Everything seems to go past you so fast, but you're not concentrating on much because you're trying to focus on your riding, you're trying to focus on the road ahead, you're trying to pre-plan everything in your mind, and it was great. Oh, as soon as I hit that 40, it was like freedom. It was fantastic, and yeah, it was great fun. Lane positioning was perfect, just keeping defensive in the middle, and I'll come to why I'm saying that in a second. But on this same stretch of road, a car was in the central renovation, wanting to turn right in the central part of the road. There's like the white lines with the lines in it where you can pull in and turn right. But there was a car wanting to come out the same place that they did. So this car, unfortunately, flashed. Now, I already passed them. But Chris and the person I was with was just behind me. I'd say a good 20, 30 feet, something like that. You know what I mean? A good bit of distance behind me. Well, this car decided to pull out on the gentleman I was learning with and literally drove down the side of the road with him. Now, bear in mind, he's full high vis, learner plates, everything like that. This person decided to drive down, the exact side of him, and then went a bit faster and pulled in front of him. Well, the instructor obviously wasn't happy. He used some choice language on the microphone, because obviously we had the earpiece and stuff like that. He used some choice language. And the first words which he said to me was, David, stay defensive. Stay in your middle lane. Do not give this idiot any room to overtake you dangerously. Just ride your ride, keep you forward, and just then. And this person went up my arse, basically. He came very close to me at times and stuff like that, but I didn't focus on him. I kept focused on the road ahead. I allowed this person to do whatever they wanted to without affecting my ride. If I pulled over the left, he tried to overtake. He could have hit me or anything like that. And I managed to do this all the way for at least, I'd say, 2 miles. It was the same thing in back, forth, coming close to me and all that. But it was fine. You know, I wasn't in major danger or anything like that. This person was just impatient, one of them. Older gentleman, seen learner drivers, clearly just wanted to be in front of us because he couldn't wait 5 minutes. But yeah, that was only the major incident that happened. We pulled up to some lights, did some going around, like speed humps, stuff like that. But the fun one was counter steering. Now, there's this part in Prestine where it's like a long road near a beach, and it goes like that for about, say, half a mile. And Chris then obviously taught us counter steering, where obviously you push down on one side, push down on the other side, and let us have a little go in the road to feel how a motorbike weight can help with steering rather than trying to just, use handlebars type of thing like that. And then we went off on a big ride for about, at least, I think it's about 15, 20 miles we went on the ride, and doing counter steering, stuff like that, through bends, long bends, and hitting 60 mile an hour roads. You can't do 60 mile an hour on a 125. Not these ones anyway. I think the max I got on a 60 road was 52, I think, and that was pushing it. But that didn't matter. It was still so much, so much fun. Um, we did roundabouts, things like that. Then we started heading back. Excuse me. Unfortunately, on the head back, we ended up losing our instructor at a red light. I kind of did because I'm a car driver. I kind of seen a yellow, went through the yellow and instead of trying to stop, because once you got that yellow, if you got time and it's clear, you can beat the red. Unfortunately, he got stuck at a red. We lost him for a short bit. The person I was with decided to turn down a side road, a junction, and Chris explicitly said, "Do not pull into junctions if you leave me, because I could lose you." And then they'll have to try and find us and everything. So he pulled into the junction. I carried on because I knew the road. I lived in Preston most of my life, so I knew exactly where I needed to pull over. And it's basically, you have a set of houses. They have obviously a driveway. Then you have the path, and then you have like another little driveway type of bit. So I pulled into one of them, waited for them to come. Met back up with them, and we headed off back to obviously Rill from Prestatyn, through like 40 roads, 60 roads. We came to a set of roundabouts. Did them on my own because Chris and the person I was with was again stuck behind a bit of traffic behind me. So, but I did them fine. I went to pull into a junction, which I know I said a minute ago I shouldn't have done, but because this road is straight, not straight, because there's nowhere really to pull over on this road, I thought it was the safest place for me. I've indicated, I pulled in, looked in my mirror, and a car, I think it was a Volkswagen Touareg, or Touareg, or whatever you want to call it, went this close to me. Like literally, they went that close to me as I pulled into this junction. Again, irresponsible drivers who don't care about learner drivers, who don't want to give them space, time, or anything. Everyone who's on the road learn how to drive, or who learn how to ride. Yeah, you start off not knowing nothing. Now, if you haven't got L plates on your car, that means you're just driving like a fool. You don't care. Now, if you know what a Volkswagen Touareg is, it's a big 4x4. If I had to brake hard or anything like that on that junction, or if I panicked because they were right up my arse, it's going to crush me. It's going to hit me and it's going to crush me. Anyway, that didn't happen. They drove off without any issues. But the main thing I did, I didn't react to them. I ignored them. I just carried on riding my ride. And I pulled out, waited for them to catch up to me. I pulled out and we headed back to the test centre. Got back there, pulled in, went back in the office, and basically Chris was like, "Listen, you guys gave me a hell of an easy day. Compared to obviously other younger drivers, riders and stuff like that, who obviously haven't driven a car or anything. It's a lot harder, you know what I mean, through the day to teach them road etiquette, road safety, all that type of stuff, because they don't understand it. But me and this other gentleman drive cars, it's a lot easier. We have done for many years. I mean, I passed my test in 2006, so I've been on the road a long time. So, but he was happy with everything. He was really, really happy of the day. He said it was really easy for him. We finished, I think, about an hour earlier than what we were meant to, because there wasn't really anything else he could actually teach us or tell us or anything, because we did it all so fast. And yeah, it was really good. But that's pretty much my experience of the day. It was fantastic. And I remember at one point, coming home, I was knackered, absolutely shattered. But I came home, and when I chilled down and rested and my body wound down and stuff, I sat there and I said to myself, my mind on that ride was clear. And it hasn't been for so long. Now, if you're a type of person who has, anxiety and stuff like that, you over worry about things, you have a voice in your head basically constantly, and you don't get like a second to be silent. But on that ride, I was silent. My brain only focused on what I was doing and nothing else. And it was such an incredible experience. It was amazing. The whole day, from going from being that worried, anxious person to walking away with the biggest smile on my face, was just fantastic. But yeah, that was my experience of the day. I have my test booked. It's for the 16th of April. So how it's going to be is I'm going to have three-hour lessons on the build up to obviously the mod one, um, and then have my mod one, and then I think it's 2 3-hour lessons for the mod two. So fingers crossed, I get to pass first time. Hopefully 9 hours of lessons should give me the you know knowledge and know-how and just whatever it is to pass it. But again, it's all down to nerves on the day. You could be the best driver in the world, but when it comes to tests, you can crumble. So yeah, there's that. But I'm hoping I pass and everything, and then I can do my mod two, and I'm sure I'll be fine with mod two because obviously, again, being a car driver, as long as my nerves don't get ahead of me, I should be fine. I really believe I should be fine. But yeah, a bigger bike as well. Apparently, is a lot easier to ride than a 125. A lot easier to control. A lot easier to maneuver. Just all round better because weight ratios, bigger tires, a little bit more control with clutch, accelerator, everything like that. So yeah, but just to end the day of the CBT experience, I bought a lot of motorcycle gear, and I bought AA rated jeans. They're bullet jeans, AA rated, Kevlar lined. They have armor and stuff like that. But I also bought a textile suit. So it's trousers and a jacket that connect together at the back through a zip. But the thermal lined. Now, I've seen so many people say how cold they are on a ride. So I was like, the weather hasn't been great. It was absolutely raining and windy the night before. So I thought, you know what? Thermals on underneath. I'm going to put my trousers on. I'm going to put my jacket on that are thermal lined and I'll be fine. I wasn't. I must have went through 2 liters of water just literally in the first couple of hours because I was sweating. It was such a glorious day. It was ridiculous. It was beautiful. And I had leather gloves on that are lined as well. They're from a company called Black. Really nice leather gloves. They're lined inside, and my hands were soaking wet. I pulled my gloves off, and my hands looked like a prune. Inside was sobbing wet. Um, but it never affected me throughout the day, even though it was hot, sweaty, what have you. It didn't actually affect me throughout the day. And yeah, the other thing is when I was talking about my jeans, it's quite a laugh. I keep getting mixed up between braces, which I think everyone knows what braces are. You clip them to the top of your jeans and at the back, you put them over your shoulder, and it just gives them support to keep them up. Well, I've got braces on mine. But while I was there at the very beginning and we were talking about clothing and stuff like that, yeah, I made the mistake and gave everyone a good laugh because I said, yeah, I have these jeans and they have suspenders on them. Yeah, I said I wear suspenders, and it was a great laugh for him. It was a great laugh. We had a big joke about it and stuff like that, but yeah, it was good fun. And anyway, I got my certificate. Really chuffed about that. I've already done my theory, which I did 50. Sorry, I've got my certificate here, but I'm not going to show you it because it's got all my details in the back. But my theory, I did 50 out of 50 on the questions and 64 out of 75 on the hazard and perceptions. That's all done. So now it's just a waiting game. I know some will probably say now, well, why don't you get yourself a 125 and get out there and experience riding for the month or something like that? I can't. Because amazingly, my beautiful, beautiful fiance has already bought me a bike, which for my birthday, which is on March the 2nd, which is this Sunday. She bought me a Suzuki Bandit 600S, which is the year 2000, and it has 14,161 miles on the clock. It is stunning. It's an absolutely incredible bike. Now, I told you when I did that first video, I've looked at loads of bikes and stuff like that. Well, I settled on a Bandit. It's kind of like an all-rounder for me. Cheap insurance. I mean, I think I just checked my insurance, and even without a license, to insure it would cost me £146 a year. Tax on it is £83 a year. It's cheap. It's cheap. Now, I looked for the Bandit previously at a place up in Huddersfield, but there was just too many questions over that bike, and just when I received pictures, it kind of worried me a little bit. So I was like, I'm going to leave that one. But I found one which is an hour away from me, up just past Pwllheli in a place called Plaskent, in a company that deals mostly with Suzukis. They're motorbikes. I said it's strange like that because it's written in Welsh. I am Welsh. I can't speak the bloody language fully. So, motorbikes, something, something. Anyway, the place is up in Plaskent. Um, and it was fantastic. They're an amazing bunch. I went there, looked at the bike. The guy was not trying to sell me that bike. He's just having a good chat with me. Um, and it was great. I looked at the bike. My partner was like, "Do you want it?" I was like, "Hell yeah." He started it up for me. It's got a Black Widow shorty exhaust on it. Very, very loud. Very, very loud. And just the whole look of it. Don't get me wrong, there is scrapes, bangs, all that type of stuff. But overall, it was really, really great condition. It's got 12 months MOT on it. It's got a 3-month warranty, even though I can't use the warranty because I'm currently not riding and not allowed to. So that'll probably run out pretty much as a second I get my license if everything goes well. But I absolutely love this bike. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's in black. It's half faired. And yeah, just overall, it's amazing. Like, I think it was not yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I had the cover off it and all that because I got it in the cover, got it locked up. But I sat there, let it run for a little bit, just let all the oils move around it, let the engine heat up and stuff, and revved it a little bit. Now, the crazy thing is, on the CBT, um, obviously, a 125 bike's not overly fast. And I think in third gear, I was hitting 30 mile an hour. Well, on my bike, I've got it on the center stand. And I know you shouldn't do this, but it was okay because I'm a big boy. I got a lot of weight to me, so I kept it forward so the back tire wouldn't hit the ground. Um, and yeah, I put it in first gear and revved it a little bit. And I think around about 4,000 revs, 5,000 maybe, it was doing just over 30 mile an hour, which is mental to me because I was like, hold on a minute, that bike was doing 30 in third gear. This is in first. So very excited to get my license out of the way and get out on the road on that one. But I will do another video in a few days of a walk around on the bike, starting it up, just when the weather gets better. It's a bit windy, it's a bit rainy, and it's just crappy at the moment. So yeah, I'm going to give it a clean up and everything like that. But yeah, that's basically it, really. I've got a bike. I've got my test booked. My CBT is passed. My theory's done. And my journey is slowly coming together. I mean, when I first started this channel, it wasn't exactly a great start to it, with obviously big breaks and things like that. But I can actually start bringing you content and bits like that. Show you things I bought for the bike. Show you, obviously, I was meant to do an outfit show and all that, show what I've bought. But I will do that. And I just hope whoever watches this, you like this sort of thing. You like watching someone like me, a random individual off the World Wide Web, off YouTube, going on a journey of learning to ride a bike. Excuse me. And if you already ride, you probably have done this yourself. So any advice is great, especially for these tests, because this is it. That's it. 2 more things to go, and I could be out on the open road, experiencing riding and hopefully meeting people. That's another thing. I've already got things booked for the summer with family who ride, who want to do big rides and stuff like that as groups and things. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, I'm not going to waffle on anymore. That is my experience in the CBT. It was great. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed the day. And even though they probably won't see this, Chris and Steph at CB Motors, you guys are wonderful. I can't wait to start doing my lessons with you and my dad's course with you. So that's going to be great. And that's me done. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy what I'm doing and want to see my journey and how it ends, hopefully in a good way, and then see afterwards my riding and stuff. So yeah, thank you all very much. I shall catch you on the next one. Peace out, everyone.